welcome to Mission Report. Today we're going to bring to you 3 different gaming stories from the past week and give them a grade. Starting off today, we're going to talk about the new Call of Duty game announced. It's a large battle royale type game, if I'm understanding correct, called Call of Duty Warzone.
Yep.
This is a free-to-play game, surprisingly. However, it is free to play as long as you don't own an Xbox, to which they have put the game behind the paywall that is their gold membership. Now, what do you guys think of this?
Yeah. I was surprised because normally with like free to play games, it's always the case of they're free to play. You don't need PSN Plus and you don't need Xbox Live Gold.
Yeah.
We saw that with Fortnite. We saw that with other games, but I'm actually surprised they locked it behind the paywall.
Yeah, it's only the early kind of coming out of this news, and the game isn't released yet, so we're not positive that this will change. But it's just weird that they would come out with this. Like, it's so early on.
Yeah.
That it's already noted to be behind the a paywall to get a free game.
Although it is worth pointing out that Activision and Sony do have a partnership, for a few games now. PlayStation's had exclusive content, with Call of Duty itself having the survival mode locked off unless you have it on PlayStation.
Yeah, that's bull. That sucks, but at least they didn't lock off the entire game.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand why they do it. Everyone sort of wins. PlayStation gets to say we have exclusive content, and Activision can sort of mop up a few sales from, obviously the PS4 because it seems like the best place to play. Really, the only people that lose in exclusive content are the people that just don't own the console. And, Xbox does have a sizable fan base, as does PC, especially because it's, a first-person shooter, and Call of Duty goes way back on PC. It's where it started. But, I don't know, this just seems a little, I guess we'll call it convenient, that if you own a PS4, it's completely free to play, but if you own an Xbox, it's locked behind the paywall.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's free on Steam. Like, at the end of the day, like, if it's only paid for on the one console, then the people with that console would just not want to buy it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you guys see this as an incentive to get Xbox Live Gold?
Goodness, no. Like, if
I wouldn't.
Like, personally, I just get this on the PS4 and be done with it. Honestly.
I mean, look, if I only had an Xbox and that was my only source of, only place I played games, I would sort of be a little annoyed, but at the same time, it's Battle Royale. We've seen it before. It's not even the first time Call of Duty has done it, because last year Black Ops 4 had a Battle Royale. So, I mean...
Yeah, what's its selling What's its selling point anyway, other than the fact that it's a Battle Royale?
There's 150 people can play at once.
Well...
That is a big game.
I mean, can any other Battle Royale do that?
I mean, it does do a few things different. For example, you can, after you're killed, you can have, like, 1v1s with other players for a chance to respawn, apparently.
Oh, that's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, there's also bounties during the game. So, like, it's teams of 3, and, like, another team can set a bounty on your team.
Yeah.
And if they kill you, they get more
fun.
money. And that's the other thing. It has a monetary system in the Battle Royale.
Yeah.
So...
Oh.
Okay.
This is what...
I guess it's
this is
free to
just,
play.
stuff I've seen because another YouTuber, Marley13, put up some gameplay. And I watched a bit of it, Again, to me, look, it's the type of thing where if you like Call of Duty and you like Battle Royale, this seems like a nice little thing to play, but I wouldn't say it would motivate me to buy Xbox Live Gold. And it's, no offense, but it definitely wouldn't motivate me to play Call of Duty if all I wanted was a Battle Royale.
Yeah, for those...
Yeah. Well, I guess in the end...
Sorry.
Oh, yeah,
for those who are, like, playing Battle Royales and have interest in those, do you reckon this would revolutionize it for them?
See, I'm not quite sure. I like the bounty system. That actually sounds quite interesting, and like it could be something that definitely encourages play beyond normal, like hiding in a corner. but at the end of the day, I don't know how much this is actually going to revolutionize the genre. It seems like, if anything, it's just going to be a decent entry.
Just another
I'd
battle
agree with
royale.
Yeah, which is unfortunate at the end of the day. I don't think it brings enough to the table to be like, it's no Fortnite killer, but it's definitely going to be around.
Yeah.
So overall, I think I give this this story is give it a D.
Huh. No
Be
problem.
an F if they actually did this, like if it was actually out. But the game isn't out yet. We don't know. This is all pre-release things, so it gets a D. From that.
Yeah.
No problem.
All right. Now, Amph, what's your story?
All right. Now we know.
Christ, I can barely talk today.
Now we know the myth, the man, the legend. Is his body ready? But okay, seriously, Reggie Fils-Aimé has become one of the board of directors for Gamestop.
Oh yeah. Oh
It's-
yeah.
This
I heard
this
about
to
this,
me
yeah.
seems like a fucking home run for GameStop.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like GameStop did everything. There's a lot of goodwill going into that man.
yeah.
Except for the fact that he will not localize Model 3.
You know what?
Oh,
To be honest,
oh,
I do feel kind of bad for him because when he has his superannuation, it's just gonna be $10.49 in GameStop credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It will only be for certain products.
Oh,
No, but look, in all honesty, I mean, we all have a lot of respect for Reggie. You know, he's such a well-loved guy in the gaming community, and I mean, I'm interested to see where this goes.
yeah.
No, I think this is a good move for GameStop. GameStop has kind of a shit reputation, as we have already memed
Yeah.
on them.
They over here in Australia, they own EB Games as far as I know.
Yeah,
They are EB Games as far as
Yeah.
I know.
yeah, they are.
Yeah, so
From what I understand, if we try to go to GameStop, it's basically just EB Games. They just have the same
Yeah.
things.
Yeah,
they sell the same products. Well, accessories, that is.
Yeah, no, I think they just legitimately are the same company.
Yeah, no, they
It's
are.
kind of like how
Yeah.
Woolworths is called Safeway in Melbourne, which is the most Aussie thing I could have said. But yeah, no, I think this is a good idea. Reggie's got a lot of he cultivated a lot of goodwill and a great public image while he was working at Nintendo of
Yeah.
America, and if he can even bring a little bit of that to GameStop, and maybe do something about it. I mean, he's on the board of directors.
Yeah, he's
isn't
pretty
he?
high up.
Yeah, that gives him a certain amount of speaking power. So hopefully he'll be able to bring up the company's reputation just a little bit.
I'm not gonna lie, this story sort of blindsided me because when Reggie stepped down from his position in Nintendo of America as president, I was just like, that sucks because I mean we all loved him.
Yeah.
But you know, he said he stepped down because he wanted to spend more time with his family, from memory. So I wasn't expecting him, of all people, to be at GameStop of all places.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be completely retired, like away from the industry as a whole. But here he is,
Yeah.
back again.
Yeah, I also assumed that he was retiring, but yeah, no, it seems like he's doing this. Well, who knows? This might be a less demanding job than head of Nintendo.
Yep. Which Bowser has Bowser has occupied.
Yeah, I gotta admit though, I do love the fact that Doug Bowser in his fucking opening video tied up my Luigi in the back.
I'm not gonna lie, I like Doug Bowser and what he's done so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's been good. He has a good sense of humor, and I think that's what we look for. I know it's weird, but we do look for that in these kinds of people.
He's also got one
Yeah.
hell of a lucky
We want
name.
them to have, like,
one lucky name, man.
Yeah. I know, right? I don't know. You look for a certain amount of charisma in a head of a company, especially if they're a head of like a company that in such a creative medium. No, overall I think this is quite a positive. This is a positive thing. I have hopes that him being there is a sign of positive change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Reggie is like a savior and he alone should be held responsible for all positive changes in GameStop, but I definitely think this is a step in the right direction and showing that maybe the company is trying to take some of the criticism that they got seriously.
Yeah. I agree. Like I do hope some great things come out of this.
Yeah. So what do you rate this, Amph?
I'm definitely rating this an A. This is good news.
Oh, we got an
That was
A-rank
cool.
story.
This is a solid story.
All right.
Makes me smile.
All right. Well, we should. Yeah.
It's so wholesome, man.
Now let's move on to Sharps, which I assume will boil me.
So last week I was watching a video. This was actually over the weekend, but I watched a video about the Stadia and what some devs have been saying about it. And I mean, it's quite a long video, so I'll summarize it for you. Google have not been giving enough incentives to developers to put their games on the Stadia. And look, I'll be flat out with this. Google are one of the most successful tech companies we've ever seen, but come on, the Stadia at this point is dead in the water. And no offense, but you need more than just AAA games.
This is the Vita all over again.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, right, the Stadia has an uphill battle. As like we've done a game design course. Me and Anf are currently working on games. Josh, I know you're working on a game. But here's the thing, right? When you have an audience as small as the Stadia in comparison to the other major players, Sony, Microsoft, Steam, like you need to give devs a reason to actually care about porting their games over to your console. Because porting a game isn't as simple as just remapping a couple of buttons in your code. You know, it's...
Yeah, no. Porting is a expensive process. If you want to know how expensive it is, go to a Kickstarter and note how big the goal is to get a port of their game onto a different console.
Yeah, it's not fucking easy. And there's a reason why a lot of the times when we do see ports that happen a year or two after a game's released, a lot of the times it's not actually handled by the studio that developed the game. They palm it off to someone else to do.
It's just...
Yeah, it's usually a company that exclusively does reporting of games onto specific consoles.
Yeah,
Blue Point
it's
Studios. Blue Point Studios
Yeah.
is mostly common.
Yeah, it's not an easy task. But to hear that Google isn't incentivizing developers, to me just shocks me. Because what I think the Stadia could benefit from, right? And this is just my opinion. I think if the Stadia had something along the lines of Apple Arcade, and it just incentivized the absolute shit out of indie developers to just put their games on it, that would... don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it would solve all their problems, but that would be a nice thing to do, and I think you'd get a few more users. Because at this point, they're just...
Especially offering out some dev kits or something, just to see how the bloody thing operates.
Yeah, and to me, it's just shocking. You know, I've been pretty outspoken. I wouldn't say I'm against the Stadia, but I would say I'm not a believer in it. And I've been like that since it was announced.
Yeah, I'm honestly not a fan of cloud-based gaming. It definitely doesn't sound like something that's up my alley.
Yeah, well, look, we can produce something of a video on our ideas of cloud-based gaming. I'm personally not a fan, and that's mainly just because they have no incentive to keep like anything on.
Yeah.
And I don't like the idea of owning something and paying a lot of money for something where they can shut it down.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, the server's gone, you can't play any game anymore.
But I mean,
like, well,
I want to play a game with you guys, okay?
Alright.
Let's pretend, Josh, you are a Google rep, right?
Cool. Alright.
Convince me as to why I should put my indie game on the Stadia.
Google search results will be very positive.
I mean,
God.
that's...
I don't know what the point is. They don't have the market share, they don't have the value, and everyone's already anticipating a failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. Most of gaming, statistically, right, if you look up any statistics, the majority of gaming takes place on consoles, right? I'm not going to argue that a console is better than a PC or vice versa, but the majority of gaming takes place on consoles.
Yeah,
I can agree with that.
You know, you have Sony and Microsoft that are obviously the main consoles that fight for dominance in the AAA industry. You have Nintendo who do their own thing, which is equally as valuable. And we know how dedicated Nintendo fans are. You know, we're all Nintendo fans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And then you have...
I think Nintendo is doing its best job by keeping out of that shit fight.
Yeah.
No, and here's the thing. Then you have Steam. And Steam is what I think the Stadia should have looked to for inspiration. Because they've sort of carved out a niche. There's a lot of benefits you get on Steam that you do not get from other platforms. And a lot of that comes with playing on a PC and all that. I get it. But, I mean, come on, Google. You either have to be different and be successful at it, or you should have looked to someone like Steam for the inspiration on how to do this without completely fumbling it.
I think that they just, in the end, had to develop something where they needed to make something that made people excited to develop games on it, and they needed a big marketing push. Because, unfortunately, it just comes down to the end of the day, developers are just going to be afraid to develop on a console where everyone already thinks it's dead in the water.
Yeah.
See, to me, I think the easiest comparison is Xbox, though. Because here's the thing. I am not a fan of the new direction Xbox has gone in. Not from a gamer perspective. From a gamer perspective, oh my god, it's amazing. I love a huge focus on backwards compatibility and just the hardware is improving. Fantastic. But from a critical perspective and a business perspective, I struggle to see the benefits in what they're doing. And to me, it's the same thing with the Stadia. Like, if I was trying to pitch to a developer why you should put your game on the Stadia, I wouldn't know what to say. The difference between the Stadia and the Xbox is Xbox has a dedicated fan base and they've built up goodwill over the years.
Yeah.
The Stadia is just starting out. This is the point where you need to show why your platform is the best place for these games.
And at the end of the day, they're going to need new IPs to show off the games that you can only play on the Stadia that are going to make people want to play them on the Stadia.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You need that draw. Like, at the end of the day, I get it, but, even the original Xbox had Halo. They were big games. Very exciting. That made people want to have that console.
Yeah.
And the Stadia is no different, whether it's a platform like Steam is, or whether it's a console like the Switch or the PlayStation.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but the only sort of reason I've seen anyone interested in the Stadia is, and I say this with all due respect because they're extremely successful, but the only reason I've seen anyone have any interest towards the Stadia is because it's a Google-backed project. It is Google doing this.
Look, I think at the end of the day, that is not enough.
No, I agree. But my thing is, you have to be successful. If this wasn't backed by Google, no one would have believed in this project from day one. That's the thing. I think your product needs to be as valuable as if it was some random bloke in his bedroom doing it. You know what I mean?
No, definitely.
Yeah.
If you can't, if you weren't going to be able to do it on that level, then doing it on as big a level as Google tries with something as, I guess, not as developed as cloud-based gaming is at this point, then I think they failed right out of the gate. And we all thought this was what was going to happen.
Yeah. They really had to push the idea of cloud-based gaming and really show the innovations that they were going to do, but they haven't so far. I don't know anything about the Stadia. I don't, and it's entirely Google's fault, because they have the budget, they have the resources, and they haven't pushed it as hard as they should have.
Yeah.
Anyway, Shaba, what would you give this story?
I give it an F for fucking hell. This is bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Good range today.
It's true though.
I honestly want to believe in the Stadia. I love it when someone comes in to try to challenge the status quo, but it needs to be done right. I'm sorry, the Stadia just hasn't.
Yeah.
You know what? That's we've wrapped this up quite nicely. We've had quite a range of stories today, from the absolute F to the absolute A. And I'd like to end off today's mission report with how I'll end off every mission report with Josh's A grade game recommendation. Today I'd recommend World of Horror. It was released about 3 weeks ago. It's a unique game, to say the least. A one-bit love letter to Junji Ito and H.P. Lovecraft, navigating the hellish landscapes of eldritch horror in this roguelike card-based game with light RPG elements. You can grab your copy from Steam or a free demo from the developer's website, which will be linked in the description. I'd like to thank you all for joining us today.
I honestly had no idea we were doing game recommendations. You know what? You do that, and when it comes to my turn, I'm going to do games you should stay the fuck away from.
So, yep, this is Josh's A grade recommendation, and later on we'll have Sharp's F grade, get the fuck out of there.
Yep.
Anyway, this has been the Right Hook Productions, and we'll see you next week.
Signing
See ya.
out.
dwell alone and long, without a clue, without a sign, without a grasping yet. The real question to be asked, where have I been? I'm a shapeshifter at this masquerade, hiding both face and mind, but free for you to draw. I'm a shapeshifter, what a shit to be. Please don't take off my mask, revealing dark.